We're at the TRYX booth here at Computex, and you might be wondering, who the heck are TRYX? Well, maybe you know their 60 Hz 2K AMOLED display that's on an AIO. And if you think that's cool, well, don't worry, they got you covered. You can now get the same awesome screen in a water block for a custom loop. It's an Asetek cold plate, so you know it's still gonna perform well. Or maybe on the front of your computer case. But they're not just about putting displays where no display has ever gone before. They're also about innovation. And this, believe it or not, is a computer fan. They claim that this single fan produces the same amount of airflow as 3 140mm fans. While your normal PC fan contains a hub in the middle with a motor and blades that go out of the side of it, this one, it's like if the blades came out of the hub going straight ahead, 3D style. So we have a motor on one end that spins this entire fan. So that means it pulls air along the entire length of it, wraps it around the corner, and spits it out through the side. If you watch LTT, you may have seen us cover this in a niche small form factor case, but it's cool to see this on what's going to be a mass-produced case. It's called the Flova by TRYX. The Flova by TRYX is going to come in 3 colors, and yes, they actually did color match the fan. I respect that attention to detail. Thank you for that. It has this nice Scandinavian influence design that uses fabric. Kind of reminds you of like the Google Home Mini, you know? Now, you might be a little bit concerned. What about airflow? But the nice thing is that on top of the fact that you have room for 3 120mm fans at the front or a 360mm radiator, you get this cross flow fan. You avoid having to deal with this fabric altogether by using these slats in the sides. So the air flows in through here and is launched out towards the rest of your hardware. If you're worried that, oh, that's not enough, even though it's the equivalent of 3 140mm fans, 3 here, 3 here, 3 at the top, 2 more at the bottom, 1 at the back. Included with the case, you'll just get the crossflow fan and the exhaust, so you should be covered for thermals out of the box before you have to add anything else. I will say that there are some things to note. While it is a decently sized case, due to the nature of the crossflow fan, it does kind of encroach upon your GPU clearance, but I would imagine that all but the biggest GPUs will fit in here just fine. The side panel is tempered glass, and the fabric here does not breathe like the rest of it. It is just a veneer. One thing to note, you can remove the fabric here and the fabric on the front if you don't want it, if you want a cleaner look, or if you want better airflow through the front. It's a dual chamber design that hides all of your ugly PSU cables, and on the back you have room for 2 SSDs, as well as nice, plenty ample space for all of your cables. And if you're somebody who likes to keep their storage on metal, they are offering a 3.5-inch hard drive cage to go right here. It is sold separately. The TRYX Flova will be releasing later this year at $139, which is surprisingly cheap considering that these are very niche fans. Usually they're much larger and they're designed for AC units, so this is a relatively bespoke part. So it's really cool to see them trying something new in this case. One complaint, I don't think RGB fans are the best choice because they're off center here. Just looks a little wonky. If you're looking for something that's a little bit bigger or maybe a lot of bit bigger, well, look no further than the newest revision to the TRYX LUCA. The first revision had some issues and they decided to not release it in North America and instead take the feedback and improve it in a lot of ways. And one of the big ways they did that is swapping out the front panel to be something with way better airflow. I'm talking 2 massive 200mm fans. I love these things because they're quiet and just move a ton of air, and I think that more cases should support them. But if you don't think these 2 massive fans are enough, you have support for tons of cooling options. You have 360mm radiator support up here, 420mm radiator support down here, and 420mm radiator support up at the top as well, because you can move the power supply from either the top or the bottom. In fact, the whole motherboard plate can just be taken right off and come totally out without having to disassemble the whole system. It also supports BTF motherboards as well. If you have storage, well, you got tons of room for it. You can support up to 9 2.5-inch SSDs or 2 3.5-inch hard drives plus 5 2.5-inch SSDs. Crazy. But let's go back to the front because there's just so many goodies. You have a built-in anti-sag bracket as well as a way to vertically mount your GPUs, should you so choose. And the front panel is actually removable. Why would you want to do that? Well, you can instead go for that classic fish tank look by using a glass panel at the front. If you're indecisive, it's perfect. What I would like to see in the future is maybe a little bit less reliant on plastic pieces and going all metal, especially for an all white build, compared to the black version, which if it's a case that you're hoping to keep for like 10 years, this one might age a little bit better. But regardless of that, it is still a super feature-rich case that will support super hardcore hardware. Taking a break from case talk, let's look at their Stage CPU cooler. The goal with this was to enable you to personalize your machine even more. Just like having whatever you want on your 2K AMOLED display on the panorama, here on its 1080p 30 FPS display, you are given a pedestal where you can put, I don't know, a beautiful lady, a powerful boy, a exercising rabbit, or a crying criminal. The bottom of the stage is a mirror that reflects what's on your back displays to allow you to really immerse your figurine in whatever you have on the background. It's super cool, super customizable, and the pump is super low profile. It's using an Asetek Adela pump, and this is going to come in a 360 configuration and a 240 configuration. The price?
$200.
Which is pretty good for an AIO this unique, and it's supposed to come out in September. That's a quick tour of what TRYX was showing off here at Computex. Thanks again, TRYX, for sponsoring this video. You know what I appreciate about TRYX is that they're living up to their name. They're always trying X, and that's pretty cool. If you like this video, why don't you check out some of our other Computex coverage. There's so much cool stuff this year. Super exciting. Bye.